uh, but they are very real. They're very real. They're there for our protection and for our upliftment. Now, how some people use it is now up to them. Some people, the way I believed it, or the way I remember from the various conversation with my father, is that, they are there for your lifting and for your upliftment. Of course, there are good people in this world and there are bad people. There are good people, more good people in this world, but there are bad people also too. And so people, if they get hold of some powers, some of them they might use it for bad. And if they use it for bad, it doesn't mean that that uh, deity that's there, that it is that is evil or that is bad. It's just that some people get hold of those power and they use it for bad. But majority, what is supposed to, when I'm literally being invited by the government, being invited by the royal families, being invited by so many incredible people. And so I know it's nothing but just God really just making this happen. And I think because I was reading so much during that time, and I always remember my grandmother's words at that time, because I would literally be reading even at the dining table, and she said, don't worry, you will go to all those places you are reading those books. And she didn't know the words that she said at that time, that how true it is today. She's no longer with us, but our words at that time, I'm literally living it. And that's the reason why I just feel like, this world, have the right track with you, the
Tribe,
resilience that
resilient.
you put into it, the impact, and of course, the people.
Yeah. So it's live your purpose with impact. Like, it goes backwards really, but it's a trip if you do it the right way. And it's a great trip. But you know what I love about you? I haven't said this in the show yet, and I've been holding back. What I love about you the most is, yes, it's your smile, but it's what's behind the smile. It's your sense of humor. You love to laugh. You love enjoying life, which is joy. And that is so important, because as a leader, if you can't enjoy life, all the people that follow you pay the price for that.
Yes, yes. Oh, I believe so
So that there's so
strongly in
much
that.
more to create. So, what movie inspires you?
Oh, inspires me. Oh, I mean, does it have to be like a documentary,
It can
or
be whatever
can
you
it
want. It can be
be
a documentary. It can be a movie.
a movie?
It can be, it can be
Oh,
a documentary if you want.
no. Well, because when you talk about movies,
Welcome to the Dr. Smiley Show. I'm extremely excited and honored to have Princess Dr. Moradeun Ogunlana on my show. First of all, to thank her for all the good she does in the world, but personally, Princess, I think I shared this with you at the event in Qatar, but you awakened my soul to a level I've never had awakened. And for me, being a leader is something that is important. Being a global leader, it's mind blowing how big of a responsibility that can be. But more importantly, it's mind blowing how much purpose you can actually bring into the world. And you caused the epiphany of my first 30 or 40 years of a DJ becoming someone that brings the world together with music being the universal language, to a smile movement, the universal expression is a smile, to a global leader, true global leader, is using love as the universal power. So I just wanted to thank you. And I'm going to show off some of the stuff that you provided me. I wore this in honor of you. I just want to say that I cannot say enough good things and how much you've made a difference in my life. I was contemplating um, wearing my chic.
ah,
I bought it, but I thought if I do it wrong, I'll be disrespecting a country, and I don't want to do that. So,
uh,
and then of course, when we get to the what you do to honor people, I have my award handy. I want to show the world what uh, you bestowed upon me, and why it meant so much for all the people there, not just me. It means so much to everybody. So, the other thing I'll say before we start the show, I've learned, because of you more than almost anybody, that sometimes you have to meet the wrong people in a journey to have it completed with why you had to go on that journey to meet the right people. And
wow.
it's very important that People don't shut down everything because it's not the right person. Look at what the gift was that was supposed to be provided. And it's not that these are wrong people, that they're bad. It's that they're wrong people for what your path is supposed to be. That's all.
Right.
So, Princess,
Right.
I learned your name. Did you notice?
No, that was so impressive. I am totally impressed, and I'm in awe, at you and the work that you are doing. Um, you mentioned, first bringing people together through music, then, of course, then through the expression of the smile, bringing people together. And I've been a partaker of that. Also, too, being in your smile book, in your smile, with your smile cards, and then now, really globally, bringing people together through love, and that is really profound in itself, because as you know, God is love. And so whatever, I always tell people, especially when we're talking and we start bringing in different whatever it is that you believe, but every one thing is this that is universal, is that everybody know there is a God, and that God, expresses himself in so many different ways. And I'm just really so blessed and so honored to have such amazing people around me, like you and Dr. Michelle, that really, that not only do they show that love, but they actually live it. And so thank you. So I give the honor back, right back to you, because, I do believe it's a two-way street.
Well,
And
I'm doing a big book for you. It's either going to be one direction or another, or it might even be both because you're so powerful. One book might be um, basically princesses or those that live like princesses to change the world with inspiration, uh, nurturing, and care that a woman brings to the world. I mean, I have to say that I wouldn't know you not because of the biology of my mom, but because of who she was to me. She nurtured me. She gave me a heart that I understood what it is to love, what it is to be sensitive. So I want to show you one book that I'm thinking about very seriously making for you. And when I see
wow.
at the next event, which I believe is in Dubai and Qatar, I believe I'll be bestowing you a gift to thank you for all the gifts you've given me. So here's a sneak look at it. So of course it will not have this exact cover, and your name will be here. But I think you're the person that's going to help me have all my languages. Look at that. That's Dr. Amy.
Wow. That's Amy.
And
Yes.
yeah,
Amazing.
and so you're going to be in this book, but also what I'm doing is I want to make it all women leaders of all the different languages, because that's what
Mhm.
you've done. You've brought all these people together. And I share this look at this. This is the Royal Highness Crown Princess Catherine. So if I can get a hold of her, I want to get her connected to you.
Wow.
This is the ex-president of Mexico, Vicente Fox. And then
Wow.
this is our lovely Dr.
Wonderful.
Shalmaraz. So my point is, I don't get to exercise holding a card that is in a different language. You've allowed me. They ate up the Arabic cards. There's so many that are in the cutter right now. And then what's funny is, you know how this makes you smile? If I show you
Mhm.
an Arabic card and you don't know what it says, it doesn't mean much to you. But when you give it to someone who speaks Arabic, they light up just like this. The
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I just wanted to say you've added so much to what the smile movement's supposed to be. It's supposed to be universal. And I
Right.
think 45 languages, but I'm usually using English or Spanish, maybe French, but you allowed me to really open up the box. So I want the world to know who you are. Are you ready to share?
Absolutely. Ready, ready. Yes. Let's do
Okay.
this.
So as you are aware, you weren't always born with this wisdom and this ability to have a purpose to bring all these amazing people together. So where were you born? What was your childhood like that made you who you are today?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria. Of course, Lagos, the fastest growing city, in the world, one of the fastest growing, and really just really amazing things coming out of Lagos, Nigeria, as a matter of fact. Um, Grew up there. I have with older brother. I'm the second born, so and I have a younger brother. So for years, for a long time, it was just the three of us, and I was middle child, and you know what they say about the middle child syndrome. syndrome. Always good, always good because I get to be the one, the glue that bring the two together,
Mhm.
uh, that really, make the three. And you know that what they say about the power of the three. And that's another book too that I'm thinking that I've actually been pondering on for a long time because I had a revelation about the power of the tree that and just when you look at it, everything that happens in this world is all in the threes.
Yes.
The Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, any which way you want to look at it, when it's three chords that's together is not easily broken. So even
Princess, I
even a
want
man and
to.
a woman, when they marry, plus God in the middle, it is hard to break that. So I grew up with that feeling, and definitely, so that's one of the books that you're going to be writing too. For me, we're going to be writing that you're going to publish in the future. Um,
And
so
I
growing
want
up
to
with that.
say, something that the three, I'm right there with you. Um, I have a cover that's designed, and I just want to tell you that I'll show it to you later, but it says 333, and it's a triangle.
Wow,
And it's because everything that actually God created and makes sense, it's always like that. It's a
it
tree.
was always
So
everything. And when you look at it, and when you say that 333, and then you go to the nine, and the number nine, I mean, that is a number of infinity.
yes.
Anything you multiply by it, you get it at the end. So I really love I grew up with that mindset, I guess, and especially, me being one of the threes, and of course, and then I end up having three children too. So I'm living by my trees, by the way.
I,
Um,
I'm a three too.
you're a three too.
I'm the oldest, my brother, and then my sister. Yes.
Wow, you see, I mean that's why we're easily connected. Um, and I do, and I grew up. My mother early lives in Nigeria, in Lagos, Nigeria. I mean, of nothing was just nothing but of pure love, and sometimes too, even we, even growing up as a royal. In my early life, living actually in my grandfather's palace. But then, of course, when my father actually traveled to Canada for further studies, and then my mother eventually goes to join him. Me and my two brothers, we actually went and lived with my grandmother. So we lived with my grandmother, and I think my oldest brother actually lived with my paternal grandfather, grandmother, she's the and
Well,
and
talk
we
about the royalty for a second. Like, talk about what it's like to live where you lived, and what because that's a lot different than most people experience.
okay in my early life. So Nigeria, the way it goes, my grandfather was the Obanikoro of Lagos, was the 10th Obanikoro of Lagos. My uncle was the king, was the Oba of Lagos, Oba Oyekan. And and I remember when I was born, I was born in and actually lived in the palace because that's where my father was. I mean, my parents were. And I remember that we always used to we had this festival that they call the Eyo Festival that they usually do. They usually have that festival usually after a great man has passed, a king has passed, or somebody that's very, very notable in the society, whatever. It's called for at rare time. Uh, it's not necessarily every year, but when it happens like this, everything shuts down in Lagos. And the Eyo Festival was one of my favorite time of the year whenever there was a festival like that, because that was the time where if you're a girl, if you're born a girl, if you're a girl, you cannot come outside.
Hmm.
You cannot, only men participate in that. Only men are able to wear the masquerade, and they are the one that goes into the street, and they carry the opambata, which is the long stick they carry with them and all that stuff. And usually, if you're not of the royal family, or you're not, uh, or you are not even, or you are just a visitor, everybody have to stay in the, they have to stay on the balcony to watch the parade going on. So it's like a parade. It's like a parade that actually goes on, but it's only with the Eyo. So no regular person can actually mix with them at that time. If you mix with them, they actually beat you with a stick or whatever. And it's such a sacred time, and that's when you have all the different deities, the different powerful deities, that really tells the root of our African ancestries. And those are some of the things that was lost in the midst of all this colonization
Yes.
stuff that happened.
Well,
But we still live through to that. And I remember growing up during that time that because I'm a princess, I was able to actually go in the mist as a girl, and they would dress me up, and I will go with them. And once they see the way I'm dressed, with my coral beads and everything and all that stuff, I get to go and I get to walk with them. And I remember even at a young age that I was so fearless about being in the midst of all these men, of all the masquerade, some of them, even some of the even the powerful, because they're so powerful in spiritual powers, they have. And I remember like this, I was never afraid of them, because a lot of people were, maybe some people will be afraid of, maybe through meat or what have you, but I just felt right at home in there, and I will want to walk with them. And my father was like, okay, yeah, let her go.
so the deities, let's talk about that for a second. Um,
Mhm.
Obviously in America, we don't have that expression. So first of all, explain what that is. And the other thing is, I've been to a lot of African events in DC, Washington, DC, where the deities are actually honored and brought to the embassies here in the United States. And I did want to show a picture I took of you with at least one of your amazing outfits that you have. So
Yes.
you dress so beautifully, and every single time I take pictures of you, I say, "Wow, I'm in the presence." And I wanted to say another thing about Dr. Michelle Mraz is such a reason why I've experienced this. I usually like to connect the dots, and
Mhm.
have someone that connects you to greatness. You you couldn't have had it without taking care of more people. So I'm just very happy that Dr. Michelle went on a trip, learned about you, became sisters with you, and then said, we all need to be three.
Yes, exactly. That's our, you see, that's our triangle right there.
So talk about
Uh,
the deities.
So the deities, long before colonization, and even long before they even brought Christianity into Africa. Of course, Africa, we had our own religion, and we had um, our own way of life. I mean, this is what made Africa, what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That everything, civilization started from Africa, and the mere fact that even up till today, even with all the things that have been done to try to strip Africa of its greatness, whatever up to today, if you go on any land in Africa, I mean, you're walking on any streets, and you eat an apple, or you eat or you eat an orange or something like that, and you eat it, and you throw the seed, you throw it on the ground. Literally, if you come back over there the next day or the day after, you see something sprouting from the ground.
Mm.
So that goes to show you that that is a fertile land. That is the original land. That's where everything started from. And colonization came, and they brought in Christianity, brought in Islam, brought in all the different religions, whatever you. Of course, Islam was brought in there way before even Christianity. But Christianity, when Christianity was brought over there, it came in with the colonization. That's what it, and they wanted everybody to adapt to the Western ways, and they stripped us of basically everything that was sacred to
Mm-hmm.
the land. That is what makes the land. And you can even see even some of the artifacts and some of the crafts. Some of it are just now being even returned back from Europe, from the different places where it was stored and where they, where it's been used for hundreds of years, thousands of years. So I just say this to say that the, the different deities, like my name, if you see my name is Ogunlana. Ogunlana is the God, God of there's a God of iron that actually opened the way. So that means, he has uh, is the one that my name literally means Ogunlana, means the God of iron paved the way, opened the way. So if I now, and that's one of the things that's been lost over the years with people, if I now say, okay, because he says God of iron, that I don't want to use that, and I want to just use, I want to use other names. I'm literally depriving myself even of the innate power that God has already placed in me to actually be the greatness that it is. When you look at even not only just Nigeria, I mean all different parts of Africa, when you literally go from place to place, you will see that it is the different deities and different beliefs that's on the ground over there. That is what needs it to be able to grow to the way it is. I'm a Christian, born again Christian. I mean, Holy Ghost fire, what have you. So, so I believe Jesus Christ, as my Lord and Savior. But one thing I do know is that the deities that God has placed on there for us are there for us, for our protection and for our upliftment. And if I say, okay, if I deprive myself of that truth, I will be doing myself a disfavor, and I'll be doing everybody around me a disfavor. And that's where the way I really looked at it. I don't talk too much about religion. I don't go too much into religion or the different deities or whatever. But I do know that there are different deities that's for different things. There are some deities for the waters. There's the deities for the storm. You have God of thunder, God of iron, God of different gods. They say they call it God, but it's not. They are just their deities. They are because there's only one God. There's only one God, but then there's all these different deities that's there on the ground. There's a reason why there is there, and that is one question that I would have loved for my father to actually have answered, before he passed away, to actually give me a lot of different knowledge and understanding on it, on why some of the things that happened didn't. But yes. But they are very real. They're very real. They're there for our protection and for our upliftment. Now, how some people use it is now up to them. Some people, the way I believed it, or the way I remember from the various conversation with my father, is that they're there for your lifting and for your upliftment. Of course, there are good people in this world and there are bad people. There are good people, more good people in this world, but there are bad people also too. And so people, if they get hold of some powers, some of them, they might use it for bad. And if they use it for bad, it doesn't mean that that deity that's there, that it is that is evil or that is bad. It's just that some people get hold of those power and they use it for bad. But majority, what is supposed to be there for is for the upliftment and to ground you to your root, to your African ancestry root. And that is one of the reasons why you see a lot of people actually going back to those beliefs and going back to actually, connecting back to that root, because they need it for their, because that's one of the things that was missing. When you look at even things that happened over here in America after the Africans were brought over here, as slavery and what have you, a lot of things goes back over there to your root. If you don't have your root, if you don't have your base and you don't have your root, then you don't really have anything, do you? And so that's the way I look at it. And as a royal, we preserve our culture, we preserve our our way of life, what God has instilled in us. Because when you look at other places all around the world, when you go to China or you go to India, they have their different belief, just like God has placed deities in there to uplift them, to be their grounding source.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way I look at it. And Africa, we need to really return back to that, to really making sure that we get grounded back into the traditional root, not forsaking what we believe as the teachings of Christ or what have you, but to really tap into that, because that is what keeps the longevity in your lineage, and that's what keeps you, that's what makes you. I don't know if I'm making this if I'm connecting, but
You are.
I do, yeah,
Man,
but one
may I
thing I
tell you?
do know is that you have to look at it. What they did was they paint everything that was in Africa, they paint it black, paint it bad. And but then when you go to China, when you go to Asia, they have their different ways of life, different roots, different beliefs. That's central. That is at their core base. That is what grounds them, and that's what makes them who they are. And so the same thing for Africa. And I think what happens is once we've been brought in as a religion that now we're supposed to forget everything that we are. And that's one of the biggest mistake, because we're not connecting to our true self.
Princess, beautiful. And I just want you to hear what I got out of that. And I may be oversimplifying it, but I'm going to say something to you and I want you to tell me what you think. Are you ready?
Mhm.
There are good people and there are people that are not rooted. There is no such
Oh,
thing as bad people. They're just not rooted.
right.
And it's interesting, but I could be a bad person. I could be a good person. It depends whether I got rooted or not. And my dad, when I made a mistake and I did something that was not very good. I think I stole some candy or something like that. And he says, you can't do that. If you do that, that's your character. And if you take your character away, you have nothing.
Mhm.
And if my dad never said that, what's not to say that I become this worse person that doesn't understand how valuable a character is? But the character is the royalty. It's your family name. It's God's will of what He wants you to live. So I don't think there's bad people. I think there's good people, and I think there's people that are not rooted.
They're not rooted. Perfectly said. Perfectly said. I agree with that. 100%.
Since you take people all around the world, this may be jumping ahead a little bit, but I do want people to hear that stay in the show this long that you change what people see, feel, and can believe about the world. Because you could say, I'm not going to Qatar, it's too dangerous. You could say, I'm not going to Africa, it's too dangerous. And by the way, 50 countries in Africa. I've been to 15. I finally get to go to your homeland, Nigeria, this summer. And I think you might be going to Ghana and Nigeria with us, with Dr. Michelle, if I recall. But I had been to Qatar when it was a brand new city, and it was just almost all building, just like 5 buildings. I mean, there's almost nothing there, and it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous, but there were almost no people there. Like they were building a city for the soccer.
Mm.
It was a soccer event. But I want to show you
Mm.
what I captured because of you. And these photos don't exist without your invitation and without you bringing many people. But St. Augustine said the world is a book, and those that don't travel see one page. And you've allowed
Mhm.
me to see pages again and again, not just the page when it started, but the page of where it is now. It's so beautiful. And I want to show a couple photos that I must share because of how beautiful you allowed me to see Qatar. And
Wow.
it's Qatar. And I mean,
Wow.
I could spend a week there. I could spend it more. It's such a gorgeous place. So I want to show
It's
you
so
this
beautiful.
because you are the credit of that art. That art happens because of what I felt when I was there. And it was way better photos than I was there the first time. And the first one time I was beautiful. But you allow with your events for a family to become a better family and for the world to actually come together because of all these nationalities being represented. But then you give all this free time to experience. And when you do an event, Michelle was not kidding. You land and you're royalty. I had fun every single minute, and I missed every minute I wasn't there because I had to go to another event after 4 days. But the 4 days I was there was like I milked everything I possibly could, and you can see from those photos. I just loved
Yes. Yes, I mean you capture Qatar so beautifully. Qatar is one place that I fell in love with it when I was there. I was invited over there as a royal guest of honor in 2021 by the Qatar Arts International Festival, the organization that put that one together. And I went there, and one thing I look at the traveling all around the world and really going into even uncharted territories, or even ones, just like I told you that when I was a little girl like this, I felt right in place, being in the midst of places where they say you can't be.
it. Right,
And I remember when I was in the fifth grade, I think that was when I actually fell in love with reading. So, and when I fell in love with reading, I was reading, like I will bring like a geographical page book.
mm-hmm.
I will read everything and anything I come in contact with. I will pick up magazine and I'm reading. I'll pick up a book. I used to read a lot of novels at that time. And those places, that time when I was reading those, there were places, you know, when I'm reading the book, I'm literally imagining myself in the place and I'm seeing myself in there. And those pages that were on my book in fifth grade, they're literally the places I am living now, uh, as an adult. And I just really thank God for that, because one thing I did was reading opened my eyes to a bigger world than what it is that was around me at that time while I was in Nigeria. So I knew I wanted to explore the world. I knew that, and I knew that I would be welcome and I would be, although, by the time I start getting all the invitations, it wasn't really exactly the way I thought about it. I just thought maybe I would just take a travel and just go and visit or what have you. But when I'm literally being invited by the government, being invited by the royal families, being invited by so many incredible people. And so I know it's nothing but just God really just making this happen. And I think because I was reading so much during that time, and I always remember my grandmother's words at that time, because I would literally be reading even at the dining table, and she said, don't worry, you will go to all those places you are reading those books. And she didn't know the words that she said at that time, that how true it is today. She's no longer with us, but our words at that time, I'm literally living it. And that's the reason why I just feel like, this world, the way you can really be able to know, or to be able to even appreciate and really be able to know about anybody, is really traveling into their space, into their world, and when you do that, you realize that, wow, this world is actually just a global village, really. Because when you have that type of relationship with people, conflict stops. Peace, peace are bounds. Those are ways that you can uh really, really transmit and be able to, when we're talking about all this peace, we want peace in the world. We want peace in the world. Sometimes I this even when you sometimes, there's this so many different books I've seen about walking my shoes,
Mm-hmm.
or when you actually go there, or you're actually part of it, then you become a sister. You become you learn to know about each other, and
Yeah.
things that seem so foreign to you becomes just a normal, becomes something normal. And I want to say this also too. While growing up in Arkansas, by the time I was 18, I moved to Arkansas. So during that time, after I finished university at Arkansas, one of the activities that I actually, participated in was being a commissioner for the Little Rock Sister City Commission. And what that was is, I just knew that that was really my ticket, that was really something that came about. I didn't go looking for it. I was literally just brought into the maze. And I get to meet people from other nations that were sister city, that were they were from a relationship that were built, that Little Rock, Arkansas has built with other cities around the world. So you get to travel over there and you get to meet, to receive some of those sister city delegates that come from different worlds, people from China,
Yeah.
people from Europe, I mean, different places coming to Little Arkansas. So Little
That's
Rock, Arkansas. So yeah, that was a really great move that President Eisenhower in 1956 that he actually came about to actually start this sister city movement. And that time, I think they call it people to people, because it did believe that if when we start talking with each other and have a relationship with each other, that is actually easier to, conflict stops and we get to know each other and we become each other's sisters and brothers. So that's how that, uh, that one went.
Yeah, that's a very big point. Actually, it's global point. And I said this, and it's potentially in my most recent book, that to end discrimination, travel. And if you put someone that hates into the event that you have, they could not continue to hate
Right.
because they would be a hypocrite. If you enjoy
Mhm.
humanity and you enjoy people that are like you, then all of a sudden you are saying, I can love all.
Right, right. And it's easy for you to be able to express and be able to actually, meet people and actually love unconditionally and really try to even understand, even if they're from different, of course, totally different background, totally different beliefs from you, but you can still be able to operate, because that's how God created all of us. We're all different in our different. We all have our own uniqueness around us, but we are supposed to all be interconnected.
Well, it's an interesting that you can have two humans that have, let's just say, no targeted energy at that point, and they get together and they have no targeted experience, so they leave and they were unaffected. But if one of the humans has love burning and it's firing, and they meet the other person is ignited as well, and all of a sudden magic and chemistry happens that a relationship occurs.
Yes.
And I could meet a taxi driver in Qatar, and meet him for the first time, give him the card, shake his hand or smile at him. And next thing I know, we're talking. We're talking.
Right.
And just for those that don't know, English is spoken in Qatar more than Arabic practically.
Mhm.
And so you can go to different parts of the world. I remember you brought me to New York. I will have to say that if it wasn't for Michelle and I going to Times Square and going to New York 12 times, I could have had some anxiety about it. But when you invited me to New York, it's just another place you go where you find humans and you find beauty.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Right. Right. And so I just want to say, how great it's always to have you around, and you are able to capture the even the most intricate moments, especially when we had our event during the Commission on the Status of Women at the United Nations. Our organization, being in special consultative status with the United Nations means that we host an annual event there during two different events during the year, during the Commission on the Status of Women, usually in March, during the Women's International Month, and then of course in September during the General Assembly. But additionally, we host an additional event in January during the partnership, ECOSOC Partnership Forum, which we actively participate in, because that's the time when we actually host and we honor and confer on the honors of the Ambassador for Peace, in line with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, to our new members or people that are deserving, people that have done some really global, amazing global works. So just really happy to have you as part of our conferred honors, honored ambassador for peace, for in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. You and Dr. Michelle, all the things that we're doing is all, everything is leading somewhere. We're literally writing a story as we're going on this journey. And I know that one thing I always believe, this was instilled in me by my grandmother, is that, when your art is right, the right people will literally be attracted and will be magnetized to you. And when you will know it when you meet them, because you feel there's a peace. Mm-hmm. About it. There's a peace. There's that I can't even put it in word, but there's a peace about it. And when you've met your type of people, your people, like she always says, she said, not everybody's for you. Not everybody's supposed to be in your circle, but you have to have the right people with the right energy in your space. And you will know it, because what will happen afterwards, after you've come in contact with them, the things that will be replaying, that will happen afterwards, you'll just be going greater and greater. And that's what is happening here with you and Dr. Michelle.
I was showing that picture, and of course there were lots more people that were honored, but this was a very big moment. And we've gone a long distance to get to this place where we were able to hold this. And yes, there are so many beautiful photos that you have caused. I mean, look at this.
Oh, wow.
Remember?
Wow.
Yeah, these are,
yes, beautiful. Oh, wow. So that was our fashion show. Oh,
and
my
I love
God.
this guy.
Our fashion walk. Don't you just love Jamie and Jennifer Kerr?
Well, who is not to love? But he is such a passionate person. And I wanted to show people. This is what was given to me, and when you open it up, it's the ribbon and the plate, and
beautiful.
And I brought it home and I took good care of it, and it's one of my proudest achievements that you have connected me to this meaning something. Like that is this. Mm-hmm. And that's why it means so much, because I've done 30,000 hours with this. I've traveled with this, and you are the first to say, let me introduce you to people that would have the power to say you can be an ambassador of peace. And that is what the Smile Movement's about. It's about peace. And so you've allowed my movement, which my purpose and what my belief is, to expand and actually have a better chance of making a difference in the world. So thank you.
Wow. It's my pleasure. You are so deserving of it and much more. And this is just the beginning. One thing I love about the GCC countries, Dubai and Qatar, especially Dubai, when because I started doing a lot of things in Dubai, in the UAE. And I love the sayings over there, especially the ruler of Dubai himself, His Highness Sheikh Maktoum. He said something about the sky is, there's no limit. There's, number one, they don't even believe there's impossibilities. Right. Everything is possible.
Yes, and they proved it.
He says it with such conviction, such power, such conviction like this. So literally I'm living my life now from that henceforth, from the time when I heard that, because you do hear about impossibility, or some things are possible, or things are, But he says there's no impossibility. That's everything is possible. So and the way I looked at it, the sky, definitely the sky is not the limit, it's the beginning. Because as we see what is happening, all around us, we're only limited by the belief, or by the box that we put ourselves in. So I always tell people, definitely have to break out of your shell, out of your shell. And sometimes the shell that we put ourselves in is our belief system. So when we start rearranging our belief system, I believe that definitely you can definitely go.
Well, and to acknowledge how powerful your events are, it expands your beliefs. You cannot go to Qatar or Dubai and not be affected. You will come back.
Yes.
So if you are making, just to pick a number, let's say $100,000 a year, and you go to Dubai, it is not out of the realm for you to come back and make 200,000 because your mind has expanded twice or more. It's
Right.
and so
Right.
you don't think the way you used to, you don't talk the way you used to, and you don't believe. So everything is shattered. And that's the magic of not just this, but your events, and when God or the roots are put into a human, is it shatters the belief that hatred is a belief that should be held on to. Hatred
Yes.
disappears. It can't exist when it's been rooted that it doesn't work to make you happy. Like there's nothing about hatred that makes you happy.
Yes. Hatred is a learned behavior. It's not
Yeah.
natural. It's not
Right.
even natural to the human body, to you, because you'll see that people that actually hate, even their countenance, their outlook, outward appearance, everything about them is suppressed,
Right.
is down. So hatred is a learned belief, and and once anything is learned, it can be unlearned.
Exactly.
And it can be unlearned, through things like that you do, through even through affirmation, through things that you believe in, and through really taking away that belief, or whatever it is that puts it upon you to hate another human being, or to feel that somebody has to be down for you to be up.
Right.
It's not possible. It's not natural.
It's not.
It's not natural, and you can never get anywhere if you're like that. If your mindset is like that, you can never go anywhere, really.
No, and the worst part of it all is that you'll have to prove it to yourself, and when you do, it makes you even more miserable.
Even more sure.
Like, it's funny. My mom said something that has served me probably more than anything else. It's when people are doing what they're doing the best they can with what they know at the time.
Mhm.
And so if someone is operating and they're playing too small, love them for where they are, because if
Yes,
you love them where they are, they can grow. But if you don't love them where they are, they shrink again. They prove that they were
right.
the ones that were right.
Yes. Yes, and I love how you had, with your mission in life, where you sort of where you connected, the music to the smile, and then to love. Because love, when you operate in love, you get a closer relationship with God.
Yes.
And with that, things opens for you that you wouldn't normally, even things that you are not even asking for, you are not even looking for, but things will start opening up for you. It's like when you look at layers of onion or cabbage. Is it cabbage or lettuce? How you open up the layers, and the more you go inside like this, the more fresher everything becomes.
Well, I want to show something to you that speaks of what you're sharing right now, and it's when you live with love, you're actually living divinity.
Yes.
And so I want to show this to you because this is life is a divine journey, but you have to choose it. If you don't choose it, it
Yes.
won't be. And this is a shirt that I'm going to make for this Key Smiling movement: birthplace, earth, race, human, politics, freedom, religion, love. And
Mm.
I share that with you because you are so about that experience for everyone that gets there. So how can people connect with you to find out how they can see the world in a bigger, better way, and how they can be part of this amazing tribe called humanity?
Oh, well, wonderful. Yes, they can I answer all my WhatsApp messages. So definitely can connect with me on my WhatsApp 832-949-1072, or they can go to the website, www.awhpi.org or www.firstladiesforum.org.
Okay, so talk about the initials of the organization. What does that stand for?
So the awhpi.org is the African Women's Health Project International. And African Women's Health Project International, AWHPI Global Foundation. When we started it over 20 years ago, as a matter of fact, we're celebrating 20 plus years now. When we started it, it was really to bring equitable access to healthcare for women and children in underserved communities across Africa. And it was started in Little Rock, Arkansas, in the US, because I had an experience when I went back home for my grandmother's burial at that time. So we started it really to just really uh, with medical mission, we're coming with medical mission and really bringing in healthcare and really supporting the healthcare system in grounds in Nigeria. We also were in Ghana, in Uganda, and different areas. And our initiative is to really to address the healthcare disparity. And over the years, we saw that even as we're targeting the healthcare disparities, there's other things too that's actually all working hand in hand together to support the economy. So we jump in on education and support economic development, and because we do believe that women are crucial drivers of economic growth and social progress. So at that time like this, we set up about empowering women through education, healthcare, economic opportunities in agriculture, especially since in Africa, majority of the farmers are women.
Hmm.
So we really went on that women empowerment and economic development in order to unlock their full potential and create a more equitable society. And of course, by 2014, our organization started working at the United Nations. We started doing works with the United Nations, and that was when I was conferred as an ambassador for peace and culture at the United Nations. And so, from that point on, we started working. I was doing some things with some of the first lady, the wives of the UN representatives, the UN ambassadors over there. So that's how our first work started, and just really the organization was African Women's Health Project International. So by the time after we got into the United Nations, it became a global movement and a global foundation. So now when you see a lot of the acronym, it's the AWHPI Global Foundation, going with over 20 years under our belt now and doing work across so many different countries in Africa, in the Middle East, in Europe, as well as in Asia. So we have representation, or in all the seven continents. So I'm just really happy to just know that we're still going strong on that. And when we plan for our 20th anniversary celebration, we went back to Little Rock, Arkansas, where it all began. Because that's where all my university, my friendship, even my children were born there in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Really?
So
So
so just really excited and really happy to see how it's grown. And now what we're doing now is really just really connecting people together. And when we talk about women empowerment, so our organization is not just really about women, because we do believe that, in order for us to really have a sustainable women empowerment program, we need to have all hands on deck. So that means the men and the women have to be at the table. So when we put programs on like the First Ladies Forum, it says First Ladies Forum because, there's a reason why we catch it like that. Because, when we're talking about First Lady, we're not just talking about the wife of the president or the wife of the governor or the wife of the mayor or what have you. We're talking about women leaders.
Right.
Women leaders, women pastors, women NGO leaders, women corporate leaders, all of that in those ramifications. But also too, we want the male counterparts to be part of the discussions too. Because for us to be able to actually have it sustained over time, we need to have the shift, and the mindset needs to be adjusted, with everybody on board. And one of the things that we do at AWHPI too, we're committed to advancing the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, particularly goals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we go from zero hunger to no poverty, to zero hunger, to health and wellness, to education, to women empowerment. And then of course, we engage with UN agencies, the government, civil society to promote women's health and education and economic empowerment. And so we do that, really just going around advocating for policies and programs that support women's well-being, and providing healthcare services and support to vulnerable populations.
I wanted to show just some of the people I met briefly at the event. And I wanted to say that if I was anti-Semitic and I didn't allow Jews to be part of my life, there is no smile card.
There's no smile card.
Very sure is an Orthodox Jew. And he gave me this card and it changed my life.
Wow.
When God told me to buy some cameras, which I was a DJ, I bought some cameras, Princess. And guess who embraced my cameras first? African-American women.
Wow.
I got in the White House 4 times within 6 months because African-American women allowed my cameras to be trusted and my heart to be trusted to amplify their goodness. And so I share with you, and I share with the audience, when it says African women and it says any abbreviation that's Ladies First Forum, if you're an advocate for that, the power that humanity should have that's being held back or is being discriminated in any way, it's your voice and it's your choice to be there. And I want to show a couple pictures of the reflection of all the people that you've attracted. Powerful and beautiful. Okay. So it's a very short little presentation, but I didn't want to take away from the show, but I wanted to show you.
I love it.
This gentleman is serving. He's serving. And he may not say his smile is big, but for him to hold that card and give me that, he gave me that attention. He kept staying there. And I said, smile. And I don't think he understood English, and then this gentleman here, and these are not finished photos, so they're going to be better, but he got the smile immediately. And then this one.
Oh, yes.
And then this wonderful man. And by the way, everyone wanted to talk to him. And guess what? When I gave him my first 60 years and I gave him the card, he says, I will make sure I get a photo with you. He said that. It was mind-blowing. And then this wonderful woman here.
Oh.
When you look at this, though, you're not seeing.
And His Excellency. You got His Excellency.
Yeah. But you're not seeing
Minister of Education. That's wonderful.
And then she came from Atlanta, Georgia.
And the mayor of
and then this is my brother. This is my bald.
Oh my God.
Prince Davidson. And then I love this man. He got an award too. Great haircut.
Yes.
And then this one.
He's amazing. He's amazing artist. Does a lot of even for the royal family.
And I show this one because she sat next to me at the event. And
that's my beautiful. My new adopted daughter. They all call me mom. I just love her. Yeah.
And I just want to say that shows humanity. That doesn't show what you're focusing on. It shows what humanity can help make better.
Right. That is so wonderful. Now, Dr. Ken, you're holding out on me because I need those pictures.
Well, I am holding out on you, and I'll tell you why. It's simply I need to do a little more artwork on them to make them a little prettier because they deserve it. And I have been going from event to an event to event, and so I will tell you,
You've
I
been
apologize.
busy.
It is taking
You've
longer than
been
I normally.
busy, extremely busy. I saw you at the She Exists
This,
event. I missed that. I missed that. I love Janelle Smith, the She Exists magazine launch or
yeah, and
whatever.
it's funny, but
That was-
Dr. Michelle and I brought Janelle to you, and you brought
Mhm.
people. That's like that's the beauty of the best gift you can give is the best person you know to the best person you would want to know.
Yes,
It's a great
yes,
gift.
such I mean, just beautiful, just
So
beautiful.
your events happen all the time, but you normally have Dubai in the fall. Is that correct? Like November,
Mhm.
something like that?
Yes, Dubai is in the fall of October 20 to 24. And Qatar is usually in the spring,
And
usually
you do it
right
every
after
year.
Ramadan,
Yeah, you do it
every year. And
every year.
it happens like that every year.
Yeah. So if they go to your website, what is the website again?
www.firstladiesforum.org.
And you saw from the photos from,
Firstladiesforum.org.
and we'll put the link there. But you just saw from the photos, you do not have to be a woman. You do not have to be African. You do not have to be a color. You just need to be, you need to be playing big in the world that you want to play bigger because this is where you can do it. And
Yes.
anything that I didn't ask with regard to conversation, is there anything about your mission, your purpose that you'd like to share just so that we are complete with that?
Yes, well, actually, my purpose is simple, um, because you asked a question, you said a question earlier on about how does somebody become great like you and things like that, like people are, and I say becoming someone great involves a combination of just hard work, dedication, and a clear vision, and of course resilience. And I think one of our book that you're publishing
Yes.
that's coming out
Yeah.
that's coming out that's getting ready to be published by Perfect Publishing, you is a woman's voice, the stories of triumph and triumph, power and resilience, and I just really love it. You have to be resilient in your power, even when because there are times when things you plan everything and everything you plan everything perfectly, everything is perfectly planned, but then the outcome, when you come over there like this last minute, things can happen. But one thing is this, no matter how you plan it, you definitely need to just have the belief that, of course, everything is going to go well. But even if it doesn't go well, there's a reason why. And that is one of the things that's really kept me going. Because, even with the last, you might have everything all perfectly planned, and then something pulled out from under you. What do you do then? Do you fall and you sit to the side and cry me woe? Or do you just, look at the situation, assess the situation, and just get right back up again and keep on moving? And that's just really the way I live my life. Now, here are some keywords that I brought over here today, that have contributed to my journey over the years. And of course, whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm very passionate about it. And when you have a genuine passion for making a positive impact, your work will be seen and it will be appreciated and will be felt, from far and near. Impact, yes. Second, of course, purpose. You have to really realize your purpose because sometimes like this, do you know how many of us actually go around and all that and we don't actually know what our purpose is in life, and we go around in circle. It's almost like we're going around in circle. But the moment you realize your purpose, what you're designedly put here for, you know, things just keeps on going higher and higher. And what happened is this: once you recognize your purpose and you start working in it, all the resources and all the people that needs to be part of that journey will start making their way towards you. And that's the reason why, like this, sometimes like people will say, "Oh, I wish I'd met you 10 years before." What have you? I'm like, no, you probably don't need to meet me 10 years before because I probably didn't know what I was going to do with you. But
Exactly.
now that you're here, I know exactly why we meet. And so I'm always using that word divine. When I meet somebody like this and everything start clicking into place, I say, oh my God, this is a divine meeting.
May I interject something?
Yes.
We were supposed to have a show a couple days ago. It wasn't the day it was supposed to happen. It's just that simple. And if you look at life that way, then the gift and the treasure is when it's supposed to be.
When it's supposed to be. When it's supposed to be. Because things all, no matter, I mean, I even tell my children, even the worst situation there's, because the way God has made us, He has made us, I mean, we can bend to the wind. We can bend all we want, but we're not made to break. God did not make us to break. So no matter what situation you're going through, you're not meant to be broken into two. You will bend. Like, have you ever seen a palm tree? You need to come to Nigeria. You need to come to Nigeria. Next time we're going to go to Nigeria together.
All right.
So that you can come to the beach. Like, say, for instance, I remember La Campagne resort. I love that resort. It's in Lagos. And you go over there like this, and you look at some of the trees. Some of the trees are literally like bent like this. They're bent. And that's the way they are. And sometimes like this, the wind would blow them like this and blow them. You literally look at it and it's like, oh, that tree is going to break into two. But then next minute like this, the storm that comes, and then it sprang right back up.
Yep,
again.
it does.
And that's the power of resilience. That's my next one, the resilience, overcoming challenges and learning setback. Learning that from setback, is very, very crucial.
I have a gift for you.
What?
Now, I know you might have more to say, but this is because the gift, I don't want it to change. So, yes. So you said some words, and I put those words in a word, and those words now you can use in a speech, and I think it's going to make people wake up more possibly. You ready for it?
Right.
Life is a trip. Are you ready for what trip stands for? T, the tribe you want to be with.
Oh, tribe. Okay.
R, the resilience you're willing to put forth to have that tribe.
Mm-hmm.
I, for the impact you're willing to put behind your purpose. TRIP.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad, huh?
Wow.
And I wanted to actually show the audience the book cover that you came up with so far. This is the book cover. And for those of you who don't see everything I see there, I see all those gems being the women I met just recently, that I met in New York, that I met at the United Nations. These are people that will have an impression in your life. And if you are a man and you are doing the things that advocate for women and also just the empowerment of humanity, you will be invited and you can be part of this book. But it will last forever, and it will bring all these relationships like glue. Legacy has glue. And so I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be the publisher of this. This is such an honor, Princess.
Thank you so much for taking on the journey, on this journey with us, because it's more than a book.
It's a trip.
It's a journey. Yes, it's a trip. It's a trip. No, as a matter, I'm going to be using that now. So instead of saying I'm going on this journey with you, we're going on this journey. It's a trip.
Can I tell you
really,
what I love?
Really,
Can I tell you?
sure
I want to tell you what
you have the right tribe with you.
Tribe,
the resilience that you put into it, the impact, and of course, the people.
Yeah. So it's live your purpose with impact. Like, it goes backwards really, but it's a trip if you do it the right way. And it's a great trip. But you know what I love about you? I haven't said this in the show yet, and I've been holding back. What I love about you most is, yes, it's your smile, but it's what's behind the smile. It's your sense of humor. You love to laugh. You love enjoying life, which is joy. And that is so important, because as a leader, if you can't enjoy life, all the people that follow you pay the price for that.
Yes. Oh, I believe so strongly in that. And you captured it perfectly, because, I remember there was a time like this, I had my first two children. I had my first children. By the time my third one was coming like this, when she arrived like this, the first thing I said was, my joy. My joy has arrived, and literally from that moment like this, I've literally been living in this out of the world joy. It's a joy that comes from within. It's not something that is given to me on the outside, whereby, somebody gave me this and that's why but, I have this joy that's really, and I think it was unleashed after that third one. So that still brings us to the power of the three.
Yes. Yeah, and there's
So,
so many people enjoying themselves when that. I mean, I don't care what picture I show. I'm going to just show a handful of pictures and just see what happens when I do that. But I want to show a couple pictures because if you're not at the event, you can't really appreciate how much
okay,
love
yes.
and joy is happening. So this is just grabbing some photos right out of the gate. Like these people
Oh
are.
yeah. Oh yeah. People are having fun. I mean,
Look at it. That I love that photo
it's
more than all photos because he's actually saying, "I am here. I have to show the world how much fun is happening."
yes, yes. It was so much, oh my God, so
Isn't
much
that beautiful?
power, so much joy. People were, I mean, it was, yeah,
And by the way, I
it's
just randomly picked some photos. I didn't because I've already showed what I want to show. I'm just grabbing more photos because you said joy, and I said there's joy in every photo. Every photo.
yes, 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 joy. And that's one of the things that I want to bring into this world. And that's what my fourth one is, networking and bringing joy through that, that networking that is building relationship with like-minded individuals and mentors and provide and that would provide valuable support. It's important to actually network, to actually be in the right type of circle, and that's one of the what we're building over here at AWHPR Global Foundation. But even more importantly, our programs that we do, there's so much joy in it. And even the First Ladies Forum and Economic Development, that's the reason why people are attracted to that and then coming back year after year, going on that journey with us. Because it's not everybody that can just say, okay, I want to do something in this part of this world in thousands of miles away from where you are from and say, okay, come get your ticket and come over here with me to a place that, if you read the news, you wouldn't even want to go over there.
Right.
But trusting in the message that I am delivering to them. And I thank God for that. I know that that's nothing but God really working overtime on me and making sure and really put and instill something that obviously by me speaking about it or even sharing it with like-minded individuals, they see the vision immediately and they jump on it. So really networking is so important. And of course, number five is continuous learning, always learning. I'm a student for life. I tell my children, yes, I'm a student for life because I will tell them, okay, I'm taking another course. They're like, are you not done with school yet? I probably won't be done with school for life. So I'll be learning until the day, the day God wants me home. But staying updated, I believe that staying updated on best practices and knowledge and really learning and open to learning about people from all walks of life is so important because when God when God made this world, He made it with so many different differences and put it all in a pot and just start distributing it. And I want to end with this with a quote. I remember when I was in Arkansas during my university days, and I was doing a lot of fashion shows because at that time when I was in Arkansas, Arkansas was so divided at that time. Yeah, meaning that this was in the 80s, so people were still doing things separately. I mean, they were operating, but it was still very, very separate. And if you know any history of Arkansas at that time, in the 80s, the Ku Klux Klan headquarters was actually in Arkansas, what have you. And so everybody was still doing things separately. But one thing I know is this: I remember that I always knew that fashion through fashion. So you were talking about music, right? I remember I had this mad idea that through fashion, I was going to bring people together.
Hmm.
That, one thing is this, fashion is a universal language. It's one that, people, when you see something beautiful,
Yes.
you jump into it. So I wanted to do that. And so I was doing a lot of fashion shows, and I would bring everybody into the fashion show. So some of them, like this was the first time whereby they were actually doing a fashion show whereby it was both black and white in the fashion show, and everybody, so it was beautiful. As a matter of fact, I was doing that. This was my early 20s, and I remember that literally they actually coined me as a bridge, the bridge. They call me the bridge.
Mm,
The bridge will, because there was a lot of things. I did a lot of things in Arkansas that time that I was a first
I
off,
bet.
because, like this fearless type of mindset I told you that was in me since I was a little girl. I would go places where nobody, where they would say, don't go. And then by the time I get there, and then I talk with the people over there, and it's like they're just like one of us. I mean, each of us, they're just like us. And some of them they learn about, and because they learn about me, they're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, well, they are open to having dialogue. And then before you know it, like this, Arkansas became, now when you go to Arkansas like this, everybody do things so much together like this. I mean, it will blow your mind how it is. It's so wonderful and so beautiful to see. So I say that to say that, this is something that happened, earlier on in my life.
So
And
our
I know that, with that, you know, when you stay true to purpose and true to being focused and stay true to your purpose like this, everything will come around in full circle. And eh, I'm just really thrilled and honored to be on this journey. But I remember during that time when I was doing those fashion shows, and I would do even some storytelling. And I used to tell the story about when God created the earth. Now, this is a story. So this is a myth. This is an African myth, right?
right.
African, well, I don't know if that's the word myth, but they said that when God was creating the world, so God created with languages, right? So he had the languages in a bowl. And so he goes to this part of the world and it will drop a language. It goes to Europe. It drops a language. It goes to China. Drops a language. India drops a language. Different places drops languages, right? So, and he has this big bowl, right, with the language. By the time he got to Africa, so I'm telling you this, and this is actually a belief, and it's actually true when you really look at it. When he got to Africa, his bowl, he had this bowl, and he saw the way the people were just, they were the way they were mingling, the way they were just, everybody was just so happy and so, and he still has this bowl, and he was going to just drop a language over there, but when he got to Africa, it's like, okay, everything, okay, this is the end of this is the place where I'm placing everything right here. So he dropped all the languages that was in the bowl, he dropped it in Africa. And that's the reason why you have thousands of dialects, languages in Africa. You have tons of languages in Africa, the native tongues, even though some of the areas now is been whereby you come to an area where English is spoken, Portuguese is spoken, French is spoken, or whatever, but the local dialects is still there till today. And that's because God dropped all those languages over there for us to relish, for us to enjoy, for us to create individuality, because Africa is so great and so magnanimous, and the way we look at it now, we say that the future is Africa, because Africa's future is right now. Because when you look at the population in Africa is young, you have a much bigger young population over there, that the next new wave that's getting ready to happen is happening on the continent of Africa. And I'm so, so happy and so delighted that this is during our time, and we get to be a partaker and be a driver of the changes that's getting ready to happen in Africa, with all our brothers and sisters from all around the world coming and actually, coming and actually working side by side with us to make Africa the original greatness that it was. So that's my that was my saying during that time. I used to say that in the 80s and the 90s
Yeah.
about how the languages, that's the reason why there's so much languages in Africa.
It's funny, you've kind of made Arkansas the cutter of the South.
Yes, yes, Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm telling you, I said when I got to Arkansas, I was a young, impressionable young lady. I was a young lady, but Arkansas, I really did get a lot of, I call Arkansas my home, my second home. Because definitely, you know, friends. I have friends from that time in Arkansas that we're still friends till today. So yes, Arkansas is a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place with beautiful people with beautiful hearts. And sometimes like this, you can get a lot of misunderstanding with people without you even knowing it. And like I told you, they say, oh, well, Arkansas is the Ku Klux Klan, there's the headquarters and all that stuff. If you go by that narrative totally, you will miss out on a lot of other great things that is there. And the fact that once you come across face to face with some of the people, that a lot of it is just because they don't know. When they don't know, then you do better. And the new generation, because sometimes like this, you have old people that have their whole mindset of way of doing things. But then when you have newer, the younger generations that are like, no, we're not going to do it like the way it was, because that's the way it's been passed on to us. We're going to do it the right way. And that's what you see happening now, even in Arkansas. So yeah, I'm very, very proud of Arkansas. Very love my Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas.
We have to do a trip there too, I guess. I've
Yes,
never been
yes,
there, and I've been to a lot of
yes,
places. So
yes.
we're going to go to rapid fire, but before we do, if I was to summarize everything you said, even though I would miss some of the things that were important, like for instance, networking is very important, and without networking, you're not getting to know people. But if we can say that networking would be part of these two words, are you ready for them?
Right.
Life trip. L, legacy. I,
Legacy,
impact. F, freedom, empowerment. Trip, tribe, resilience,
resilience.
ideas for purpose.
Love it.
That's from you.
Life trip.
That's from you.
Life trip. I love it. Wow.
I'll send it to
Okay,
you. I'll send it to you.
I'm literally writing another book just by just having this show with you over here.
But
It's really mind blowing.
all I did was listen to you. And the only word I didn't bring into that, but it would already cause it, is networking. If you have a life trip like what you just said, it would bring networking, humanity, love, all the things would come from that life trip.
Right.
So thank you for being on the show. I want to ask you 5 culminating questions, because these questions are typically how people can say, oh, if she read this or she does this, I could be like her. So these are the 5 questions. What book changed your life?
What book changed my life? Oh my God.
And you can name, because you're a reader, you can name 2 or 3 if you want.
Well, because the first book that I actually read from cover to cover, can you believe it? Was the dictionary.
Oh, no way.
Oh, yes, wait. I read the dictionary. I told you I was so hungry that time, because when I fell in love with reading, I'm telling you, I was reading everything. So I'd already read all my books, which was that time, I think in the 80s, it was the James Hadley Chase was books. And those books were, I don't know if you're familiar with James Hadley Chase.
I don't think I am.
James Hadley Chase. Oh my God, those were the now, now in recent time will be like a John Grisham book. John Grisham,
Yes, of
the
course.
books, yeah, yeah. So John Grisham books, I read a lot of fiction books. So that's those were, but yeah, the I read page to cover to cover the dictionary, and then I attempted to read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. But Bible, you can't read it like that. You have to read it precept upon precept. And so you read one area like this, and you literally have to go uh, to the uh, to the Second Testament or whatever to go over it. So overall, when you say the book that really in the recent time that I love reading, that was one of my favorite, is the book Becoming by our First Lady, Michelle Obama.
Mm,
And it just really, the book actually really just really encapsulate for me the whole idea of about being a continuous learner. Like I told you that I'm always learning. I'm a forever student. Always learning, and not really thinking of myself that I have arrived, but knowing that there's still more to be learned, more to be more to be impacted, and that even when I think I've arrived or I've reached a pinnacle, the time I think I've reached a pinnacle will be time I'm gone, right? but the whole idea of her, seeing her in that position that she is a first lady of the most of the greatest country in the world, of the most powerful country in the world, or whatever, or and being sitting at that height,
mm,
and still she says she's becoming
yeah,
that
that's
she's
powerful.
still that is still she's still finding herself, she's still discovering herself. So yeah, so I have a more to discover about myself. I don't want to get to the idea of, oh, I have arrived, so because I've arrived then I've reached. No, I'm still, there's still a lot more of me to come. I'm going to sit on my throne as a queen. I know it's happening. I'm still becoming, and I'm still learning along the way, and I'm still discovering even some of the things that what makes me tick, and what makes me what rattles my neck. So yes,
Well,
becoming.
the smartest person says they know nothing.
Yeah.
So I have a joke for you because I've never had anyone say they read the dictionary. So may I tell you a joke, Princess?
Why?
I don't know if you've ever heard of Stephen Wright, but Stephen Wright is a dry comedian. When he speaks like with no life, but it's so funny the way he talks. So you ready?
Why?
I was reading the dictionary. I thought it was a poem about everything.
Well, it makes perfect sense. Well, actually, it makes perfect sense because
Yeah.
you read it, and you think, you.
All right. So the next questions we'll do a little faster, but that was great insights about where you are in your mind and where you are in your soul. That there's so much more to create. So, what movie inspires you?
Oh, inspires me. Oh, I mean, does it have to be like a documentary,
It can
or
be whatever
can
you
it
want. It can be a
be
documentary. It can be a movie.
a movie?
It can be it can be
Oh,
a documentary if you want.
no, well, because when you talk about movies, I'm so I because I grew up with so many different watching so many different type of movies. So for English, I love I love the I love romance more. No, so anything romance, I'm very very big on and romance on romance. But this one, I think it was the French Kiss.
Mhm. Yeah.
I know it's kind of random, It's not anything. It's not like
That's a
a
movie that
big,
inspires you. It makes you feel.
yeah.
That's good.
So yeah. So I love the French Kiss, the movie, and just really the sometimes it's almost the for me the movie. I mean, it's not. I'm pretty sure it's not something that people will actually think I will mention, but the movie really just really talks about how we have something perfectly aligned in our mind, or like we want this is what's going to happen, this is what we're going to do, and then life throw then you go on that journey, and then life throws a wrench in your way, and God already has a plan that's already meant for you. Yeah. Yeah, like totally somebody she meets on the plane, just totally random. And of course, he's trying to do some, he has some contraband in his hand or whatever. But she finds that, at the end of the movie, this is the one that. So I always like movies that are like that, that are kind of corny in a way. And then, of course, because I love, I love
Well,
Kevin.
I have a romance movie I just saw last night with my son, and it's called The Unbreakable Boy, The Unbreakable Boy, and it's a romance because this man does not know what he's getting into, and he has a child that has all kinds of challenges, and it's a beautiful, beautiful true story, and it is a
Mm.
so I think you'll like it a lot. So
I definitely will look at it because I think I saw it actually on, like when you're
yeah,
flying
you fly,
overseas,
yeah, yeah.
you see it. Yeah, I should have watched it.
Oh,
I didn't.
because of you, I saw Flaming Hot, which is the about the guy who was a janitor who got to speak to the head of Pepsi, and he allowed him to put the hot spicy on the Doritos and the Cheetos, and it exploded. The market exploded because he says, "You're not taking care of Latinos. Latinos want spice. They want something spicy."
I love it. I love. You see, those are things, things that just, it's not planned. It comes out of the air, just doing things in extraordinary ways. I love it.
Yeah,
I should watch that.
you know what I think the new AI is? The new AI
What?
is awareness intelligence.
Awareness, intelligence. I
Yeah,
love it.
how you are paying attention to what the gifts are all around you. They're all around.
Right,
Okay, so
right.
Princess, we have to go today, so you can't keep expanding for long periods. So here's your next question. Who's
Mhm.
who's your hero?
Ah, my hero, my mother, my grandmother, actually.
Okay, and
Uh,
who you?
so external. What did you say?
Oh, I was going to ask just a part B to that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, my grandmother actually is who I will call my hero, my shiro, because even with limited resources, because you remember I was telling you that when my mother and my father when they were overseas, over in
Mhm.
Canada and the US, my grandmother actually raised us. And even with limited resources, I saw how her heart was so big, and she was the one that actually put the idea in my mind of this philanthropy, this humanitarian work,
Mhm. Yeah,
because you don't come to our house. Nobody comes to our house and goes hungry.
yeah.
Nobody, even with limited resources. And she will make the most amazing food I've ever had in my life. Some of them like sometimes like this, I want to have it again.
And by the way,
But
Princess,
out of nothing, you know.
yeah, but when I went to Qatar, Michelle told the truth. There was more food than you could ever eat in a lifetime. I mean, there was
Oh
so
my
much
God,
amazing
I
food
was
that amazed.
incredible. Incredible. That's one thing. The hospitality over at Qatar, and we had an event at W Doha. I mean, just a beautiful experience, and the hospitality over there second to none. So the people of Qatar are like that. The Qataris, they're like that by nature. Same thing with the UAE. They are by far, I'm telling. And one thing, my grandmother is Muslim. So by the way, for context, so my on my mother's side, they are all Muslim, and on my father's side, they're Christian. So I literally grew up in a house where a Muslim and a Christian were, and they shared such a love. They were soulmates. My mother and my father were soulmates that even when my father died, when my mother died 2 years later, she died on the same day and at the same time
Mm.
as him. They were soulmates. So it goes to show you about relationship in this world, about really about us as people, as humanity, how religion or any of it should never divide us, because God has made us so that we can coexist and actually be together.
Well, and even more
So
importantly,
mhm,
coexist and be together, but thrive when we really.
thrive, yes, thrive. So my grandmother, she had the biggest influence in my life. Of
Yeah.
course, and so when I want to think, if anybody says, "Oh, who is your hero? Who is your hero?" I mean, the first person that comes into my mind is my grandmother, because I know how much love I felt in that moment, and that moment, those moments that I had with her, with my brothers, with all the other siblings, and not only us, just me, not only just us and my brother, but also to our other children were there with us. So we had a house full of very lot of love growing up. So and the things I saw her do, and I think in my adult life I tried to mimic it, and that's the reason why, like this, I consider, whether you're Muslim, Christian, Jewish, or whatever, and all that stuff, you are all part of my family.
Yeah. And had I thought of that, I would have started the show with Assalamu alaikum. You
Ami
know,
alaikum assalam.
one of my favorite expressions, and I've made this part of my daily life now, is inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Inshallah. And shukran. Shukran.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. But inshallah is what you said about becoming. I want to
Yes.
become this, inshallah.
Become, yes, it shall be so. Yeah, it shall be so. Inshallah is it shall be so is the same thing as
Well, if God
amen.
wills it, it shall be
God
so
will.
if God wills
Yeah,
it.
it's like amen. Yes, it's like amen. Is there amen? Yes.
It's a
Yes.
beautiful expression, and we don't have that
Yes.
really in the English language.
Yes, yes. It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. And the same thing too, when you look at with the Jewish, they will say shalom.
Yeah,
And and they're literally just speaking peace over your life. They
yeah,
speak a
exactly.
blessing. So it's really beautiful. When you look at languages, that's what it is. Even when in my native language, Yoruba, there are some words that we say that English would never do justice
Hmm.
for it.
Yeah.
But when you say it like this, you get goosebumps.
So Yoruba,
When you see somebody pray in Yoruba,
yeah, but
you get
you need to
goosebumps.
teach me because I am going to Nigeria in 3 months. I have to know some Yoruba.
Yes, yes, Bawoni. You say Bawoni.
Bawani.
Bawoni, yeah, Bawoni is how are you doing? And Bawoni, you can say it at any time and point. And of course, in the morning you say Ekaro, and in the afternoon Ekason, and in the evening Ekale. And of course, even in Nigeria, there's so many different languages too. So you have the
Hausa.
Igbos, Kedu, So it just depends on who your host is. And then in Nigeria, we have this thing about, they call it Wazobia. Wa means come. So Wazobia, it means the same thing. Come, come, come. And that's in Yoruba and in Yibo and in Hausa.
I think I'll manifest this, inshallah, is you and me making a book of the 20 phrases in the most popular languages in all the countries of Africa.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
Wouldn't
That'd
it
be
be fun?
wonderful. And we can
There's no
talk
there's no
about
book that yeah, there's no book that actually brings Africa together with all the languages and the pronunciation, the correct.
and the pronunciation. Yes, yes. And
That'd
the
be,
phrase. And one of the things I would really love, even another to go another step with you,
yeah,
is for us to actually do maybe even like a short film or like um, a short video
yeah,
that can actually bring the language.
perfect.
I was smart. Yes, bring the language together, across Africa. Because, when you go into South Africa, oh, beautiful, beautiful language. Abarigani, some of the other languages
And
were just speaking.
Kenya and Tanzania. I mean, there's so many.
And Tanzania, yeah, Kenya, Tanzania,
Okay, so
Rwanda, Ethiopia.
here's part B of the question.
Mhm.
And you are Princess, you are really elaborating.
Let's
All right.
go.
All right. So
Yeah,
um who would you want to meet that you haven't met?
that I would love to meet that I haven't met. Oh, I would love. I have three people
Go for it.
now. Living or dead? Oh no, but okay, living. So
No,
living.
you can pick people and bring them back to life too.
Oh, bring back to life.
If you
Oh,
want
I
to.
like to sit at the foot of Jesus and say, just really pick his mind. Like, he speaks in parable. He spoke in parables and all that stuff. So, uh, so three people, and I really wanted to meet the Queen, Queen Elizabeth.
Mhm.
He was with my grandfather when she came to Nigeria. I mean, she was with my grandfather. She when she came to Nigeria in 1956. My grandfather was one of the people to welcome her.
Wow.
So I was still planning. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go to Europe, England next or whatever. And then she passed. So I would have loved to meet her. Uh, and then of course, and now I would like to meet the Pope, the new Pope. I would love to meet him. And of course, I want to have a sit down with Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
why not?
those are good
Yes,
choices.
yes.
The final question. What quote do you live by?
The quote that I live by is on my work for humanity. And I say this all the time. And I don't know, the thing dropped in my spirit, and it's been a quote that's been with me ever since that I've actually been using. That's my personal phrase. And that is the work for humanity is a collective efforts of incredible minds with the hearts for humanity.
So
Yes.
when I come to Dubai, celebrate you again. I want to get some cool glasses so we can rock that city.
Yes, right. These are all from Dubai. The cool glasses. Thank you so much. Yes, and these are I want one thing I've learned, especially the older you get, the older you get, you start out, you need to definitely take care of yourself. And when there's somebody like me that sits in front of the computer, 24 hours a day,
Mhm.
you definitely have to protect the eyes.
Yes.
And when you're protecting it, I protect it stylishly, of course. So you see me rocking so many different types. All right now, yes.
These are not
Protect
rocking,
the eyes. Yes, we have
but
to
they
protect
do
these
protect
eyes.
the eyes with the glasses. And these are the blue. These are
The
the
rays,
yeah, the ray.
sun
Well,
ray, the sun ray for the
yeah,
sun.
but all the blue rays that come into from this from the computer. So, Princess, thank you. Thank you. We almost went 2 hours and it went by like that.
Like that.
And we have so many more trips to take and so many more people to meet and so many more people to connect. So thank you for all you do to bring humanity together. You are such a divine inspiration. Beautiful.
Thank you so much for having me. And like I would say in one of my other languages and other one of the other uh, countries that I really love, the India, growing up, watching a lot of Bollywood movies. So I want to say namaste
Namaste and shukriya.
and shukran in Arab and shay shay in Chinese, in the
Yeah.
Mandarin language, shay shay, yes.
Yes.
So, and Odabo in Yoruba language.
So many
So
ways,
many languages.
so many ways to be thankful and so many ways to express it.
Yes.
All
And
right.
au revoir
Have a
in
au
French.
revoir. Au revoir. Bonne journée.
Bonjour.
All right. Well,
It's been
thank you
a
so
pleasure.
much. I look forward to seeing you again soon. And the next time can't be soon enough. This is Dr. Smiley Show.
Absolutely.
You just heard from the princess, the one you want to get to know, and that you'll learn a lot about how you can play bigger.